So I made a bit of an error with my recording today. I mean, for whatever reason, when I was looking back at the footage, I don't have my camera footage from me actually watching episode 18 of Legacies. So here we are. I guess instead what I'm going to be doing is going through different parts of the episode and just talking about it. I don't think I'm going to be playing any of the scenes here, but I will just mention my thoughts. And yeah, full disclosure, I have watched the episode after this, episode 19, as of now. But again, like, there's nothing really I could do considering I wasn't aware of me losing the footage until, well, now. So I'll try to go through and talk about what my emotions were, what my feelings were when I was watching the episode, and just keep it to this episode as well. Without further ado, let's get into it. By the way, I do have my initial audio that's already in the video recording that I have of my screen capture. So I do have that, so that might play here and there. So if you don't see my mouth moving, it's because of that. What I will say is right here, we're having the initial discussion about the plan and everything. So let's talk about that first off. I enjoyed the plan here. I liked that everyone was actually working together throughout the episode, save for I think Cleo, who was on her own for most of the time. And specifically, I liked that there were different dynamics in terms of people stepping up to the plate and being like, Hope doesn't have to be the only one to essentially put everything on the line all the time. And we have characters like Rick being like, all right, I'm going to sacrifice myself. And then later on, Lizzie does the same thing because it just makes more sense for someone who is supernatural, who has supernatural abilities, to be the person that actually tries to take down and weaken Ken. But the specifics here, what I really like here is just like in this scene, we're actually seeing everyone work together, which is rare. It hasn't been as common since I feel like season 1 was when like people were starting to begrudgingly start working together. Season 2 was probably when like things kind of became more clear that everyone was just going to work on the next battle every single week. And then especially this season, I feel like it's been a lot more sporadic in terms of having people work on different things and going off on their own and stuff like that. So I really liked that for this final battle, everyone's coming together.
Wait, whoever triggers the explosion, they're not going to get clear in time, are they? Even at vamp speed.
Oh, right. Also, this.
Probably not.
So, who's doing that?
Why wouldn't it be Ben? So also this conversation, right? I say here in the actual video or the actual recording that I thought maybe Ben should be the one to deal with this. I don't know exactly why that didn't happen, but Ben being the immortal and everything, I guess that would have made the most sense. I don't know if at this point he doesn't have his abilities anymore, because I feel like that only happened once the actual final battle started.
What?
Or else
Ask my siblings.
she's legit just in another toxic, semi-abusive
You can find their
relationship.
bodies.
Wonderful. Oh, this was my thoughts on like the two of them actually teaming up after everything that Aurora had been through. It really saddened me to see her just enter another type of relationship like this, and that really bothered me. You were on the right path with what you were going on and doing in this season so far, and I feel like her just dying at the end of the episode, it's not a bad ending for her character. She dies protecting someone else, but I feel as though it would have been nice to actually have her survive and truly move forward at the end of the journey. Whatever, the show's ending anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter as much. But if there was another season of Legacies, which I don't know if they had a plan or idea as to whether or not the show was going to continue at this point, but I would have preferred to have that opportunity, that door open for Aurora's character to have returned and been like, yeah, life's great. I'll help you out with whatever fight's going on now or whatever, and then go back off and do her own thing. Like, that would have been amazing to see. Also, just like seeing her be under Ken's thumb, it just felt very similar to what she was doing with Tristan, and it just felt sad to me, like, for what was happening to her character yet again. And it made me feel bad for her.
Did you need me to do something?
All right, she's about to talk, right? Is he just having a beer? Oh, he's talking. The ferryman's talking? What the heck? Is that the first time that's happened? Yep, this was a very left field moment.
Drink with me.
Have a drink with me. Okay, then. I was not expecting that. No, I wasn't.
Woke up feeling a lot better, so thought I'd get some training in.
Okay, so I believe Ethan leaves in this episode as well, right? And then he comes back in the next episode. So, like, he leaves, goes off to go do his own thing. I thought that was going to be the end of his character, but I've watched the next episode already, so I know that that's not the case. I won't go into specifics because if you haven't watched the episode, might be a bit of a spoiler. Yeah, I mean, let's continue because I don't really need to rewatch this whole thing. Wow, we haven't seen them train like this in a long time. Oh, right. This is the two of them training, and then he's going to mention wanting to become the person to sacrifice himself.
About who should detonate that explosion?
I don't know.
Well, you didn't ask because you didn't want to hear the answer. It has to be me.
Bro,
No, it doesn't.
Rick, shut up. I love my reaction there. Like, I'm surprised that, like, that didn't actually happen. Like, my thought process was, oh, Rick is not powerful enough to, like, get past any of these people and actually allow him to be the person to sacrifice himself. Luckily, it doesn't actually happen, but if he actually tried to do that, I feel like someone would have ended up locking him away in the cellar or whatever. Like, that just makes the most sense to me.
I thought we could chat, get to know each other a little. My name is Lynn, by the way.
Okay, let's talk about this. So, this feels super out of left field, this whole thing with Landon becoming the new ferryman or whatever. It is. It is very left field. It's the last 11th hour of this show. They're like, yes, we're going to give Landon yet another power set to deal with for the future. The show's ending in the show's over now because I think episode 20 has released. I just haven't watched it yet. And I'm just like, bro, what's the point? You made him lose like his abilities already once, and now you're giving me a new set of abilities, and it's like it's just to be a MacGuffin for the next episode. Like, I didn't love this. I did not like this idea. I didn't hate the idea of the ferryman being a goddess, right? But it was introduced at the last second. We've been seeing this character all season, and I think the first time we saw a version of the ferryman was when we had a clay version of the ferryman at one point, and I don't love this idea. I don't like this concept. I feel like it cheapened the deaths of characters. It makes things a lot more murky. Like, I don't know. It's not something I like. That's all I'm really going to say on that. That being said, let's actually jump to the end because the rest of the episode, I mean, it's fine, but I don't want to go through every minute detail here since I'm not rewatching it. So let's just jump to the end. So to preface this, I believe Cleo is in the headspace of like Ken, right? She gets captured and she finds out that she is a fate, right? And what ends up happening is she is trapped, and then Kaleb comes to see her, and I believe this is the scene from that. Yep.
It's your eyes.
And oh yeah, okay, earlier in the episode there's this whole moment. They're actually killing Kaleb. Oh, okay, I'm gonna pause it so I don't talk over myself. That moment there is like a reference to a question I think that Kaleb posed earlier in the episode about what Cleo loves about him the most, and she actually responds to him at this moment, and that's when you know the character's gonna die because, like, they're not gonna do that unless the character's about to pass because, well, that's just something that you say as someone's final words, right? And Cleo chooses to save Hope and the school and everyone, or actually just to save Hope because all Ken wants is Hope over stopping him from killing Kaleb, right? So it's very sad. It's unfortunate, but I was shocked. Yeah, they're actually killing Kaleb. Yep, and Caleb's gone. What the heck? I wasn't expecting that at all. It is so sad because Caleb's one of my favorite characters. What about his dragon half? Is his dragon half gonna survive? Yeah, this was just me hoping that it wouldn't actually kill him because he wasn't just a vampire. Okay, so the last thing that I want to show is specifically the conversation that we see between Milton and Lizzie. Now, I really liked this scene because I was actually pretty hyped about this because it was something that I never thought we would see and that we are getting the opportunity for it, even though it's at the last second, at the last piece of the show, right? But at the very least, they decided to do something with it, and it was something very different from what I suspected probably going into the actual show. I never expected them to actually end up together. I assumed Milton would just find someone that actually cared about him on that same level that he deserved and stuff like that, and I thought Lizzie would also just find someone or like find a way to reconcile the parts of herself that she has issues with, because she does have certain mental instability issues and things like that. But I really like the journey that both these characters have had, specifically Lizzie, in which she's become a lot more comfortable with herself and she doesn't really have meltdowns anymore. And also, like, she just is a lot more comfortable with herself. And I think that that was just a very cool journey to follow her along with. When this idea got reintroduced in this episode, after a few episodes not really discussing it, I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't sure how it'd feel because earlier they had tried to do that little love triangle type of thing, which I was not a fan of. Then they had this scene where everything seemed to be building up to them having a kiss or having that moment where they both shared their feelings. And then instead of doing that, where I thought it was 100% guaranteed once the music started, what ends up happening is Cleo walks in and we don't end up seeing the end of that moment. Honestly, a very agitating way to end the episode, because you end up having Kaleb's death and you end up having this whole scene in which Milton and Lizzie don't end up actually having their feelings all just on the table and they don't actually end up together in this moment. So it was very frustrating and sad for me to watch this episode because of those two things in particular. So yeah, as I said, I didn't really go into too much detail with the actual scenes of watching them. That being said, I mean, I thought it would be a little weird regardless of how I hacked it together if I tried to do that. So I tried my best to show like little snippets here and there of what was going on and then just talking more and elaborating on it, as opposed to just rewatching everything, because I had no idea when my voice was going to interject there. I really enjoyed this episode overall. I think that it's an interesting route that the show has decided to go in the last couple of episodes. The one thing I will say is some of the things from the next episode do cheapen this one a little bit, specifically with one of the two things that we see at the very end there. And then also I feel as though like it's kind of bittersweet to see everyone working together, even though now I know that the show is ending. Also, I really want to see the scene between Milton and Lizzie actually happen, actually go and come into fruition instead of just like pausing multiple times. So we'll have to wait and see how the finale deals with that, especially. That being said, let me know your thoughts on the video in the comments below. It may have been a little bit weird considering I wasn't doing a real reaction. It was more like a review or like going over to the different aspects of the episode. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like the video and subscribe for more videos from me on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.